welcome once again to the Humble Climb podcast. I hope you loved last week's episode with Joss. He's an absolute ball of energy. Today, I'm absolutely over the moon. I've known this girl not girl, I guess. You're not a girl anymore. But I've known her for a number of years through friends, and to see her growth in her own Humble Climb journey has been amazing. She's an artist. She's the first to poke fun at herself, all-time legend. She's the co-owner of Pinot and Picasso in Melbourne. I believe it's 39 Glenfrey Road, Melbourne.
Jeez, I wouldn't even know that, so thank you.
It's either 39 or 93. Anyway, we'll confirm that, but it's either 39 or 93 Glenfrey Road in Melbourne, and she's just one of a kind. Danielle Weber, welcome to the Humble Climb podcast.
Thank you.
I know you do a lot of these, so I completely get that you're up there on the shopping list, but you never say no to anyone, which almost sums you up as a person, as the type of people that you are. We've always discussed on this show that we're not looking for the Kylie Jenners and the Kendalls of the world, but we want your real people. Now, I've got something to say to you, which you probably don't know, but you've come a massive long way from your billboard on Ferntree Gully Road, Oakley East.
Thank you so much. You know, they only just took that down.
I know.
I'm shattered. I was like very white and faded.
It was a fair squat as well.
It was, there was no weight on the bar though.
Yeah, incredible. And it's so funny because every time I used to drive by, I was like, "Hi, Danielle," and literally, and now it's gone. So now,
who do you wave to every day?
Literally, now I don't even look at it. I just stop looking. Like I go actually another way to work.
Well, you wouldn't need to.
I don't need to. So a lot of people wouldn't know that, but I guess I do. So hopefully that's the first time you've been asked on a podcast about your billboard experience.
Yeah. I got sent a lot of videos like webs, like people zooming in. But I've actually never mentioned first.
There's a first for everything. We're breaking records here at the Humble Climb. And obviously, as I said, I've known you for a long period of time. We've hung out, and to see your own journey go the way that you have is just literally amazing. And this is what it's all about. From your perspective, what makes Danielle Weber today?
Well, that's a good question. I think I've come to learn just trying to be like the goofiest, which is what I am, like trying to be my authentic self and let that show through my work. And it's probably something that I haven't really focused on because you're just like trying to survive and like keep going. And I think that's what like makes me now. It's just like when people think that like I have my shit together and then they meet me like, whoa, you're really not what I expected. You're all over the place. It's great.
It's so hard to we often find it, and I guess maybe you can probably relate. And we've always got friends that have gone into sports or whatever, and they all of a sudden become a household name overnight. But over time, you start to lose track with them based on their notoriety and the type of people that they've become. Did you ever think you'd be in this position now? First question. And second question, what keeps you so grounded? Because I've never met someone, well, I've met a couple of people, but I've never met someone, I should say, that is, and it's an obvious, it's probably, hanging out with a Rock to literally hanging out with Dimmy and Braden in a van. In Springvale. What makes you like be that person? Because for me, it's mind blowing. Because I told my friends like over coffee this morning that, what are you doing today? I said, I've recorded another potty. Like, who you got on today? And I'm showing them your Instagram. And they're like, Dim, what the hell? How do you know this person? And I'm like, we just sort of hang out when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like,
had some good times.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, how do you become that person to keep yourself so grounded? Because for me, I get it, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah. So first question, no, I never expected to have, I guess, come across like the opportunities that I have. And it wasn't something that I leaped into, it evolved. So I sort of just feel like I'm living a bit of a dream. Like I have to like kick myself sometimes, be like, this is like the life that you're living. And secondly, like I don't know, like I don't think what I do is a big deal. Like it's something that I love and I have a lot of fun with, and I think it impacts a lot of people, but for me it's like normal. Yeah. So I don't think I'll ever change because I've never really changed as a person. So I think I'm always going to be the same human no matter what.
You've got siblings?
Yeah.
Older, younger?
They're both older.
Yeah, okay.
Baby.
Do you think that helped in itself to keep you so grounded, the fact that you've got older siblings?
We're all very different. So yes, in a sense that I know they just look at me and be like, what have you got up your ass if I did change?
Yeah.
But also like it baffles me when people are like, oh my God, like you paint it just like it doesn't like, or they're like, oh my God, like I love your work if I'm out somewhere. And I'm like, that's so weird because like I don't, so I don't know. I think my family's very grounded.
So your dad's Dutch? Swiss, apologies.
Yeah.
Your mum's Italian? Your mum's Italian?
Correct.
So obviously you've grown up in a family that is, I would say, probably artistically flared somewhere along the way.
Yes.
Where did that, I mean, why did you take the art route as opposed to hypothetically your siblings as an example?
Yeah. Well, my brother's an engineer and my sister's in like business development,
So
basically,
different.
which works for KPMG. So very, very different.
And you paint.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was definitely the black sheep growing up too, so it makes sense. But no, fortunately, my mum's a teacher, my dad was a chef, and so like they've worked really hard. So I'm always going to stay grounded because of them. Anyway, they've worked their asses off their whole life, but they encouraged me to pursue art. So
that's awesome. And when did you think that potentially you could turn this hobby, I guess, into a business?
That was something that evolved. So I was at uni, I was doing a double degree. I was like working 2 jobs and then doing painting on the side as well. And honestly, like it's only become a solid income in the last 2 or 3 years. So it was at least a 10-year stint of like where I still had my doubts, and I still do have my doubts. So it's crazy. Yeah, it definitely wasn't something that happened overnight.
It's so funny. Like for me, I always think of it like, man, this is just Danielle. Like, I don't know. I don't see it for me, and you're probably the same, but I'm just like, man, this girl's like gone from like, we used to hang out at the boys' house in the one off Nando's there in Heatherton. Remember the Heatherton house?
Yeah.
We used to go to the boys' house, and like, you know, she's walking with like a 6-pack of UDLs or something. And now you're obviously in a setup where, of course, your name's gotten bigger and the blue ticks and all that type of stuff, which are amazing. And first and foremost, they're deserved before anything. And I don't just say that because you're in front. Because there's a lot of people, I guess, in your industry now that are starting to also push their way up and get their name out there, which is awesome. Not from a competitive point of view. I guess just more bringing light to art.
Yeah, you just want everyone to win, really. I love it.
I know your amazing support staff, Alessandra, we just had a good chat with.
I'm just going to call it my support now.
She's the best. She's awesome. She's a vibe. And she's like, can you think of something other than The Rock? And I'm like, you know what? It's so funny because that's been my whole day today. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about The Rock, obviously.
She threw you off, didn't she?
Well, she did, but also I kind of threw myself off as well because today I was like, man, you probably get, you know, you told me you did a podcast yesterday, doing one today, doing another tomorrow. Like you probably get so many people who want to talk to you about The Rock.
Yeah.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
But was there a moment before all of that there was the breakout?
I wouldn't know. I think it's something that like with anyone who has a business or any work, it's so inconsistent. Like even what you do, you're like up, you know, highs and lows, and like you're on roller coasters all the time.
We're talking about Dimitri Damianos at Buxton Oakley.
Yeah. We're just talking about.
Yeah, real estate.
Yeah. And you know what it's like. It's like, it's only natural. It's business. It's like how things roll, really. So I don't think I had like a moment where I was like, yeah, this is going to be like, this is what I'm going to do. I was consistently, there was no other option. It was something that I was just going to keep working at. But when you say a breakout moment before I met The Rock, no, probably not. You know, I had moments where I was like super, super busy. I'm like, oh, this is crazy if it's always going to be like this. And then you have really dry periods and it's like, okay, maybe I should go get another job because it's not sustainable. But I think with like The Rock thing and like other celebrities who I guess have like stopped and said, hey, like love your work, it just gives you that boost, but you still have to do the hard yards and you still have to do the groundwork, and really nothing changes. Like even after what happened in October, I had to hustle to get like my momentum back with work. So I think, you know, these events are like pivotal in your like journey, and they make people like associate like, oh, yep, that's the girl who did that for The Rock. And like if he sees something in her, then like she must be all right. So that's amazing. But in terms of like having the breakthrough moment, it's more of just like a constant like moving. Battle. Yeah.
And if I could, this is almost like sums up Danielle Weber in one bit. She's gone to the red carpet at Times Square. Is that right?
Yeah.
And she's
black carpet.
Apologies.
Don't worry.
Black carpet for Black Adam. And she's wearing a beautiful dress from Kiana Official, looking like an absolute star. She's just met The Rock. All she wants is McDonald's when she finishes.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, and a cheeseburger, I think it was.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Like-
No, I think I actually got a Big Mac.
There you go.
I hadn't had one in years. I'm
And
like, oh my God, I'm so
she's
excited.
posting about and holding up her Big Mac or Macca's thing, and she's in a beautiful black dress. She's just come off probably one of the biggest highs of her life and the most media attention. Like, if anything doesn't sum you up as a person as to what, like, that is it.
And that was like the highlight of my day.
Amazing.
Coming back.
Amazing. Do you get and I've always said I'm not a mental health podcast because I think there's some amazing people that do it way better than what I will ever do. But do you yourself, and I guess I look at your stories, and a lot of us do, and we've all got our own battles that we all face.
Of course.
For yourself, is anxiety, stress, all that type of stuff, other than the day-to-day stuff of work, I've got to finish this job, whatever it is something that you deal with?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Not too much stress. I wouldn't say I'm like a stress head, but I definitely battle with anxiety daily.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, like I think the anxiety, like when I'm busy, it's great because like occupies your mind. When I have like periods where like things are maybe uncertain or I can't control things, that's when I've noticed that the anxiety's high. And then certain situations like that you maybe don't have as much control over. So it's definitely a control like thing, the trigger.
For myself as well, like I probably about 8 or 9 years ago, I had just a huge breakdown, like, and I don't know where it came out of, right? But it just happened. It was just an accumulation of life, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was put on an antidepressant. I call them anti-anxiety. Which was Lexapro, and I've been on them ever since. And for me, it was like everyone was like at the time, like, man, you just don't look like you get stressed. Like you're just always talking shit, having a laugh, you're having and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, man, that was the first realization for me as a person that I was like, nah, you know what, we can put on this facade.
Yeah.
And I don't think you put on a facade at all, but I think
but people
as
just
a
think that you're like always happy and always like up and about.
It's such a different situation to what actually occurs in someone's life. Even if you're followed by The Rock on Instagram and probably Arnold Schwarzenegger and probably a lot more blue tick people out there that we're not
blue tick people
that we're not looking to get on the podcast. Good. This is all about.
Did your opinion change to me when you saw I got a blue tick? Were you like, oh no?
You know what? It's so
she's one of them.
It's so funny, and I don't know. A lot of my closest mates will attest to this. I'm probably like the first one to like share people's businesses on Instagram, be so happy for people. Like when I did see it, I was like, fuck yeah. Like that is
really?
awesome.
I was like not sure where this was going. So I'm like, fuck, she's one of them.
I was so like, we don't have to. In my opinion, you don't have to be talking with someone consistently to be happy for them.
No, I'm cheering so many people along. Like,
like I just find that, like, as people, personally, in my opinion, I just find that as people, like, we've got a lot of mates now, and you'll probably be in the same boat where they're all starting their own little businesses. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, see it, share. Fuck yeah, see it, share. And I'm really like, I'm probably an oversharer, but it's just I want to help people.
No, see, that's so beautiful.
Like,
we need more people like that.
I don't know. I just find it like that. So when I saw the blue tick, I was like, man, this chick's legit now.
Yeah. Oh
like, you were always legit, but now you're legit.
That's so funny.
It's like, it's just an interesting thing. And that's what I find. I guess taking it back to, the whole rock thing, and I guess the more recent rock, because the first rock was amazing. You went over, you took the painting with you, and everyone just tagged the fuck out of at the rock, like probably 1 million times, and it finally got his attention. And he's like calling you D, and like, you're just that type of person. So that would have been amazing. And then obviously you've already built a blueprint for catching up again. What was your time frame like in October to working on the piece that you worked with?
Yeah, so classic DWEBSY style. So we spoke about it at the start of last year, and then the movie was supposed to be released in July.
I need to watch it.
And then
I really want to watch it.
I think it's still out. Is it still? You can still watch it?
I really want to watch it. Like, I don't know, it just looks awesome.
I love him in movies because he's like himself. That's what I love.
Remember the Jungle one?
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
That was awesome.
I was crying, laughter. But that was supposed to come out in July, but because of COVID and everything, it got pushed back to October.
Bloody COVID.
And then I was watching the time tick, and I'd like hit him up. I'm like, hey, like, do you want me to still do this? Because like, it was his idea. He obviously asked me to do it. And then he came back to me and he's like, D, like, I know we don't have, like, so sorry, like, it's taken me a couple of weeks to get back to you. What's your bandwidth? Like, if you can do something, do you still want to do it? Like, this is his approach. Like, this is The Rock.
Yeah.
He's like, only if you can. Like, I
is this on Instagram message?
Yeah, he was like voice memoing me at this time.
Oh, that's awesome. Keep them for life.
We love voice memoing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now we have like a separate platform that we talk on, but so they disappear. But yeah, but the way he approached it, I'm like, if only every client was like that, like the expectation that you're not just like available there, like the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
So and he's just like, I know you're busy, like I know you got a lot going on. So can you? And I was just like, of course, like let's do it. And then when we worked back with the time, because my sister was getting married, I looked at the dates and I was like, oh shit, like that's really quick. And so from the moment I got the go ahead, because I just thought I was going to drop it off and like do a U-turn. And he sent me this message. He's like, D, I've got an idea. I want you to present it to me at like the global premiere in New York. And I was just looking at it. I'm like, fuck. I was like, that's not even just doing a painting. That's getting a dress organized. That's getting flights booked within a week. That's like filming everything because you love to document the process.
100%.
That's like.
So did you go over by yourself?
Yes. Yeah. So I remember going out for dinner that night and then I was like, I'm going to have to stay up because I don't have time to like lose, and they're on a different time clock. So I stayed up all of that Friday night into Saturday morning and heard from his team, got the go ahead basically. And so I was on a flight. So I basically got the go ahead on the Saturday and I was on a flight the next Saturday morning at 7 a.m. to New York. So I had no painting at that point. I had no references.
That's
like
fucked.
Man. I had no canvas. I had nothing.
And you going over hotels, all this type of stuff, it's probably a dumb question. Is this self-funded? Well,
I didn't because he was like, we'll cover your like flights and everything. And I just booked my flights. They were ridiculous. You don't even want to know how much they were. But they covered my hotel, like my drivers, and they had like a food fund for me as well.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's so good as well because it's you on the world stage.
It's just like, it's just ridiculous. It's like, it's fun. It's laughable, really, when you know me and like,
I've watched that video of the unveil, like probably like 24 times. And I say 24 because everyone goes to 25. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's a different number.
Be different.
Yeah.
But I've literally watched it so many times. My mum's watched it. My sister's watched it.
Yes.
Can confirm that everybody in the office today also watched it.
Not by choice. They were forced to watch it.
I was like, guys. Like someone just called me for like, I want to come for lunch. I'm like, dude, I'm with Danielle Weber.
Got to do a podcast.
Yeah, I'm recording a pod. Anyway, but and how do you even take this whole thing over?
So this is the thing. Like, it's not as easy. So it took me about 100 hours. So I literally did not sleep for
100 hours to do the whole thing.
The painting. So I like ran around on the Saturday, got the canvas organized, then like got it stretched, and then like started. I didn't really start until like the Monday because like by the time I got everything organized, then I had to. So 10 o'clock on Friday night, the night before the flight, Dad was like helping me take it off the frame to roll it up into a tube, put a tracker in there because I was like, I do not have time to like lose this piece. So I remember getting to LA and it didn't come out on like the oversized luggage and I was like, where the hell is this painting? And I had a connecting flight too. And this lady like was just like, give me a second. Longest 15 minutes of my life because my tracker said it was still in New South Wales. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, it didn't get on the flight. I was like, where is this painting?
That is the cargo.
Oh, I was just like, this is like hilarious, but not because, it's just, what are you going to do, really? So, because I was looking at, I wouldn't have had time to send it over.
Yeah, of course.
So I was just like, what's the best, Anyway, so I landed that night and I'd organised, like liaised with Dee's team to organise a framer and then literally landed that afternoon and the framer came and picked up from me from the hotel that night and then we got it stretched and delivered.
And that is awesome.
To the red carpet. So I met it on the red carpet.
Black carpet.
See? Told you. Thank you.
Just learning these things.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We're just not made for this, are we? So I arrived I remember arriving in Times Square and I'm on my own. And I'm trying to look for, I had been, but years ago, and I'd stayed in the Bronx, in a hostel. So a bit different. And I remember I just got to Times Square and I'm trying to look for the Rock's operations woman who I've been dealing with. And she was like, where are you? And I'm walking around. I'm like,
somewhere here, man. And you're walking past all these people and you're like,
What am I
in
doing?
my head, as a joke, of course, I would have been like, you guys all think I'm nothing, but I'm actually just about to be on stage with the Rock.
No, but like I was just like so not thinking like that. I'm like the smallest human from like a suburb in Melbourne, and what the fuck am I doing here?
So true.
Like it's so funny. But yeah, no, it's like so I got there and then the canvas like got dropped off and like we're carrying it in. It's like boxed up and they give me this. They needed to drop off an easel and they give me this pissy little like plastic thing, and I'm like, what do you think is going to go on that? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, how's this going to work? And they're like, he's going to walk in and you're like the first thing. And then I'm like, what? Like what's, because I didn't know, we were supposed to catch up the day before, but we didn't. We caught up 2 days before the event. So I got to see him.
Oh, amazing.
Like one-on-one before the thing, but we were supposed to like practice what we were going to say and stuff. We didn't get a chance to do that.
So it's just like two
I
friends
had
just
no
catching up?
idea what was going on. I had no idea. Yeah, we just like didn't speak about it then because we thought we were going to catch up again.
Funny.
So
That's so Rock.
yeah. So and anyways, so I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what's actually happening here? And I didn't know anyone. And then they're like, oh, he's going to do like a live TikTok interview and then he'll come to you. And I'm like, cool. So where's this canvas going? Because it's huge and I'm not going to hold it. So there's these two really lovely guys that like produced the premiere. And I'm like, I also need a black
Cloth,
sheet because that's what The Rock like wanted. He envisaged his whole thing. He'd planned it out exactly how he wanted. I'm like, this is what he wants. Like we need to do this. Because he's like, I'm thinking for the reveal, like we do that.
Don't piss off The Rock either.
Well, like, you know, when he's got something in his head, like you want to get that right.
100%.
And so I was like, guys, I'm really sorry, but you're going to have to be human easels. And they're like looking at me. I just met these guys. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have to hide behind the canvas. And they're like, what? So I like put them like behind the canvas. So they were holding it up for me and him.
Wow.
But bless them because like he came over and he's like, oh, hey, man. And like,
That's
tapped
awesome.
them both on the back and like
just
said
so
like
cool.
thank you to them and stuff. So while like I presented it to him, these guys were like standing there like,
That is so freaking amazing.
what else are you going to do in that? Like, you know.
Did you find that I know you already had traction here in Australia, but did you find that you gained a lot more traction after that as well? Or?
Surprisingly, not as much as what you'd think.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
No. So it's interesting. I don't know. Like, I think even like going on Sushi Mango podcast, like that was like great traction. So not as much as like last time. I think Instagram's getting a bit harder to convert those followers.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah. It's like these, what do they call it? Algorithm?
Yes.
Is that all changing or some shit? Yeah.
Changes very quickly.
It does.
And the demand for like content and what type of content is like shifting so quickly.
100%. It's so true. And that's where I think it's becoming such a difference as well, that it's not like guaranteed that you're always going to get the outcome. No. But I guess for you, it's just that incredible exposure that photo or whatever is going to be a memory for you above all.
Yeah.
I think. And an incredible experience.
100%.
The other stuff is a bonus.
Yeah. And I think for me, if I went into it being like, this is going to do this for me, like I think that's always the wrong intentions
100%.
for everything. I think because I went into it and I was like, I know that I've lost like insane momentum on my business right now. I've lost like a lot of income because like I've obviously put, you know, like I just come off a bit of a break because I needed to slow down because I had a crazy first 6 months of the year. But I know that the greater impact that this has on like young artists and young creatives and what it does for them is far more than what like anything I'll ever take from it.
Do you get any?
People don't see it like that, but that's how I sort of,
It's probably a dumb question, but did you get any like recognition from like this is just probably a dumb question, but like the premier or the government or anything like that? Like, do you get any of that to be like, hey man, just want to say as a Melburnian what you're doing at the moment in this space?
Not yet. Maybe it got lost in the mail.
I don't get that.
Waiting for I don't know. I think they got my address wrong.
I'm all
I think maybe like they've sent it to not 32. I won't say the address, but
you're a Mulgrave local, and Daniel Andrews is the seat of Mulgrave. So I reckon I'll probably do like at Daniel Andrews, give this chick some recognition because, I mean, I just think what you're doing is so amazing. Like you're putting not only yourself, but you're actually putting the country on the map.
Yeah.
Because there's amazing artists coming from us.
Yeah.
I just find that it always, a lot of the time, and I love sport, but a lot of the times it's our sports stars that are getting that recognition from the higher heads and the hierarchs, but sometimes artists, musicians, etc. are the ones that are getting missed.
I think we saw that during COVID. Like a lot of the artists and stuff were the ones who first like put themselves forward for charity events, like the amount of stuff I donate and everything.
Exactly.
And I think we did feel the brunt of that, or like there was a bit of a realization there, and it's like, wow, like we're literally the first people to like give our services for free, and then like during COVID we'll shut down like that. So it's very interesting.
My great hope is that as a nation we get behind our people, like our homegrown talent.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel that we get that enough, and I really hope that you as a person, whilst I know that you don't expect recognition and pats on the back, what you're doing in your industry at the moment, which is what it's about, and staying so humble the way that you are, is fucking amazing. And I'm sorry to swear, sorry mum, but
I think I've dropped
no,
many
it's fine.
times.
She doesn't care when other people swear, she just hates when I swear. So sorry mum.
Sorry, Mum.
But realistically, I just genuinely hope that, because I would hate personally for me to see another one of our talents be approached by an overseas, to come and set up shop up here. And I know that you'd probably be the type to say no anyway, but
it's funny you say that. Yeah. Because
I just feel that I would hate to see that.
Like The Rock's like always said, like you like move over, and I'm really trying to stay here. And
I know you are, because you're such a family person. You've got an amazing, amazing partner. And LMS Building Constructions, please follow. Please follow. He's an absolute star. But that's what I'm saying, and I just hope that as a nation we don't lose another one of our great talents.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it happen. Like a lot of artists I know who are like absolutely kicking ass. They've gone to the States. As much as a lot of things are backwards there, their appreciation for arts, like and creatives, we're quite behind here, which is frustrating. But in order to change like the narrative for creatives, like I just have to stick to it and put.
You're putting him on the map. You're doing
so much. Be patient with it. It's Now
we always finish with the humble three, because I know it's we've been recording for 30, 40 minutes, and I always try and keep the podcast to under an hour.
Oh, good.
Because when I
can talk tits off the board. Never keep it under an hour.
Telling me, but that's the thing, right? Because whenever I watch a YouTube podcast, I'm always like, if it's over an hour, I'm not interested.
Out. See ya.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to know.
So I'm always like a 59-minute max.
Yeah.
So we've always had that, but the humble three is something that I always ask every guest. Now, the first one that I'd like to ask is, if you weren't in your current occupation, what would you be doing?
So funny you said that. I was listening to a Dr. Huberman podcast last week, and I was in Adelaide, and it was about creativity, and standard just went wandering off in my mind like I always do. And felt like I was in a dream, and I was like, what would I actually be doing if I wasn't doing this?
I've asked a really relevant question.
Yeah, because I've been like pondering it. Like I had pondered it last week, and I was like, what would I actually be doing? I don't know. There's no other option now. Like, so this is what I'll be doing.
It's so funny you say that.
Yeah.
I could see you in radio.
I wouldn't mind like doing some media stuff and like presenting and stuff, but it'd have to be pretty fun and a bit more loose. Like I don't think I'd be able to be doing radio and doing a lot of media over the last year. I've realized how quite heavily produced and structured it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could do that. I
couldn't see you covering the election.
But then I'd probably be cancelled straight away if they did let me run free.
Fair. So that's fair. And so many people are getting cancelled.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So maybe it's best I just stick to painting.
100%. Second question is, outside of your family, and it could be your family, but realistically outside of your family, who is the biggest inspirational mentor to you?
Oh.
And is there one? If there's not, that's fine. Obviously, say who you need to say.
Probably The Rock, because I just watched like how he, like, on the days where people are coming at you and everyone wants something from you, and you just feel like you're giving, and you get that like sort of that feeling in your stomach where like I can't do this anymore. Imagine living a life like that every single day, but still being able to like give back.
Yeah.
And be kind, and I think that's a big trait. Like, we think we run busy lives, but a lot of the time, like, people don't even ask him how he is, because everyone's just like always like, oh, like imagine just like not being treated like a human.
Yeah,
like people just want a photo with you. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're very weird as like humans. Like I would never go up to someone who is like famous and be like, can I just get a photo with you?
Yeah, I know. Even though I did do that. I'll be honest with you, I did do that with Andy Murray at Crank Casino the other night.
Well, I don't really like like him, so that's all right.
Look, I was like,
I'll let that one slide.
I'll be honest with
I
you.
ball girled him like 15 years
Well,
ago.
you and AO ball
and he was a
girl.
prick. So
You know what's funny? I've watched so many videos of like tennis tantrums,
Sorry,
and
Andy,
he's
you
in.
watch this one.
Yeah, no, Angie, don't watch this part. Tune out now.
Don't do a snippet of this one.
No, but you know what's funny? I watched heaps of tennis tantrum YouTube videos, and everyone says like I watched random shit, which I do. Last night I was watching a cruise liner.
Yeah,
on
love
YouTube.
that.
Yeah, I was like the new Richard Branson one looks off its head.
That's sick.
But he's in so many tennis tantrums, and I went up to him at Crown, literally ran because I was like, I'm going to see one tennis player today. I'm going to take one photo, and it just so happened he was the first one. So I was like, you know what? If I don't see him the rest of the day, at least I can say I got my photo.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, hey mate, can I take a photo? He's like, yeah, mate. And I'm like, all right. And I'm not really smiling or anything, but cool. But thanks anyway, Andy, if you're watching, and I really appreciate it for the photo.
Good photo though.
I got 103 likes on Facebook.
Thank you for the 103 likes.
Massive.
Yeah.
No, so The Rock, and I think that's such a realistic answer too in the same time.
Yeah, I don't even mean just like, oh my God, like he's a, no, but just like the traits that.
Do you reckon you invite him to your wedding? If you get married? I don't mean it that
getting
way.
married, really?
Like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't know, maybe just like see if he wants to come to Vanilla or something. We can have lunch down in
Have
Oakley at
coffee.
the mall. Yeah. Like,
Or maybe he would just want to like have
he
a
probably
chat
wants to hang out in
van.
Springvale.
Well, he would. He'd just have to be hidden. Well, just hide him in the van.
Did you
Probably
just see
wouldn't
last
fit
week?
near the-
Apparently, Kanye West went to like A1 Bakery.
Really?
Well, but it was like unconfirmed.
Oh.
But of all places, like went
They
to
dropped
like
me off lunch on my last job.
yeah,
Yeah.
in Brunswick.
Yeah. So nice of them.
Yeah, apparently that apparently there was reports that he was just at A1 Bakery, Kanye West.
Wow.
Crazy. But anyway, each to their own. I don't really get that when I go down places, but
No.
anyway, that's cool.
Well.
Moving on to the last question is, if you could have a billboard, what would it say and why?
Probably the tattoo that's on my leg. Without discipline, there's no freedom.
Nice. That is an awesome,
That's just the first
awesome
thing
one.
that came to my head.
No, I like it.
It was appropriate. To say.
I really like
or
it.
had some depth.
No, I'm so I actually really like that one. So I'll probably
That's a quote. Well, it's like a simplified quote, but the conversation I had with an Australian artist or sculptress many years ago that helped me sort of kick me into gear to pursue this. He was talking about like the discipline that you need as an artist and as a creative, and how long the journey is and how patient you need to be. So
you are, I guess, an amazing person. I don't guess that, I actually know that. So let me just say that. I know you're an amazing person. I'm genuinely so proud for you and see your growth as to what it is and what you're doing for people out there, because you're inspiring that next gen. And I always keep on saying that. But across your ride of being at Arnold Schwarzenegger's house and having coffee with The Rock, you have
we had
kept
tequila actually.
Oh, there you go, tequila. Yeah, I love that. Even better. Like, you have just kept the humble climb as much as you need, and you have stayed so humble, and you never say no to anyone, which is almost just you in a nutshell. So I'm so proud to know you, so proud to have you in my life. So glad that I first noticed you on the billboard on Furniture Gully Road in Oakley East, and that's obviously one of the main things that has stirred you on to where you are today.
Yep, 100%.
You deserve every success that you have in
Thank
life,
you.
and I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Right back at you. Appreciate you.
Continue, of course, to like, comment, subscribe. That's how we grow and get out these amazing stories. There's plenty more episodes coming up. Big thanks to Brados again, and we'll chat to you guys soon.